Hey everybody, Brandy here from Stamp Me Some Love, and I am here to do a video tutorial on some really cool products that Jen over at Reverse Confetti sent me. Reverse Confetti is one of our sponsors for the Card Maker Success Summit, and if you haven't already, hop on over to cardmakersuccesssummit.com and pick up your free ticket. Jen over at Reverse Confetti has been so kind, and she sent me a lot of goodies to work with. And what I chose to work with today is the Hello Daisies stamp set and die, as well as the Postal cover die. I just think it was perfect combination to work with each other, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's take a closer look at this die right here. This is the Postal cover die set, and then we have the Hello Daisies stamp set with that beautiful bouquet of daisies and the word hello, and then it also coordinates with the outline that cuts around the flower as well as the word hello. So for this card, I decided to pull out some backgrounds that I had previously created, and here I am just kind of going through trying to figure out which backgrounds I want to work with. I had lots of different options to choose from. I actually learned this technique from Tiffany Solero, one of my good crafty friends, and she teaches people how to use distressed inks. And so, or not, I'm sorry, distress sprays. So I created all of these backgrounds with an array of different colors of sprayed backgrounds, and hopefully I'll have a tutorial on that soon. So once I've kind of narrowed it down, I noticed that the cardstock was a little bit warped, so I decided to get my laminator out, and I was able to put 2 in at a time, and as you can see I've kind of sped this up, but just have the laminator on a heat setting and just to help kind of smooth out the paper and so it's not as warped. So that's my pro tip today. One of the other things that Tiffany taught me was to use this distressed glaze. And if you can see right now, the colors are a little bit dull. And what I learned from Tiffany is that if you use a little bit of distressed glaze in your foam applicator tool and just sort of rub it in, I don't know if you can see it so well on the screen, but I would tell you in person, the colors just sort of come to life and they become more vibrant. And so I really loved this idea. I've never used distressed glaze before, never knew what it was for. And I was in a class that Tiffany was teaching, and it just, I don't know, now I just sort of want to use it on everything. But you'll see here, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, but I'm basically just going over the entire card and putting a smooth, you know, I'm not putting a lot of glaze on, just sort of smoothing it over, and I probably, to be honest with you, probably reach back into the container a little bit more often than I need to. But you can kind of see it gives it a little bit of a shine, but what more importantly, it brings out the colors, the depthness of those different colors. Now on this card, I'm going to do 1/2 of it so you can kind of see the difference. It's a little bit hard to see here, but you can see on one side where the colors come really, they become very vibrant and stuff. So I just wanted to show you the difference between the side, the side that has the glaze and the other side that does not. Now let's look at this card a little bit closer. In the middle, you can see where that green spot up at the top is more vibrant on the right side versus the left. That's what I love about this distress glaze. I wanted to talk a little bit about the glass mat, the craft mat that I'm using. This is from Glassboard Studios. I picked this up a couple of months ago and absolutely love it. Not only does it have that design or that grid in the background, but it is also magnetic. Now I don't know if you can see it very well, but I've got some purple magnets up in the corner there, and I just absolutely love the board. It's easy to clean. It does not reflect light as much as my black glass mat used to, and it's really great for videos. So I do love it. And it's also easy to clean up, and it's just been a really great addition to my craft studio. I'll post a link down below as well as a promo code where you can get this craft mat for 20% off. Alright, so now let's go ahead and stamp our image, that beautiful bouquet of daisies there from Reverse Confetti. I'm going to use my Misty just to make sure that I get a really nice clean image. I'm using Catherine Pooler's Midnight Ink. This black really looks well against the distressed stain, and it doesn't smudge, so I really liked using this, and so I'm just going to ink up my stamp a little bit and then close the door on the Misty and get a really nice bright black against that orangey background. Just going to use my little it's a mouse pad, or mouse that looks like a mouse from your computer, but it's actually a dry erase board that's got a little magnet in it, and I just I think I picked that tip up from Jennifer McGuire. Anyway, so just going to re-ink it. There were a couple of spots that I didn't get a crisp image, and that's probably because the paper was a little bit warped. We did run it through that laminator to kind of straighten it out, but there's always some little valleys and stuff that you can't really see as well on the paper. But as you can see, it came out really nice, and that background, that distress stain background, looks really nice on it. So just going to repeat the process with the other backgrounds that I've picked, and then let's go ahead and get on to the next step. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we want to take those backgrounds that we have stamped, and we want to use that outline die from the Hello Daisy die set, and just want to make sure that you are taking a look at where all of those corners are so that you have it lined up appropriately. I like to use the frog tape, the yellow delicate tape, when I'm doing these types of die cutting. I just want to make sure that the die is not going to move on me, and so it's very reusable. As you can see, I have a lot of extra pieces just waiting on my die cutting machine for me to reuse, and I'm just going to sandwich that through and cut it out. Let's take a closer look of that. Isn't that pretty? I just love those colors. Alright, so the next step is for me to figure out what color cardstock I'm going to put behind it. Now the colors that you're seeing right here, this is my little sampler from the MyColors Heavyweight that I sell in my store at shop.stampmesomlove.com. And what I'm doing is just doing a really quick, yes or no, does this color potentially go with this color palette that I have, and just quickly running through it. Then I'm going to be taking those colors and then sort of narrowing them down to like 2 or 3 different options. Little side note, if you purchase any of the MyColors Heavyweight Cardstock from our store, you will get one of these sampler packs for free. That way, the next time you go to order paper, you'll know exactly what color you're getting. I find that trying to order cardstock from the computer or from online, it's very hard to do because it's hard to see the different colors and textures and stuff. So anyway, just a little side note. Alright, so I have chosen the different colored cardstocks, and I went ahead and off screen die cutted the backgrounds from that Postal cover. So I chose 2 backgrounds for the orangey flower there, and I'm just sort of looking here to see, does that stand out or not? And in the end, I realized that I liked the back better, and so I'm just going to save that orange one for a different project because I decided not to use it. But what I did decide is that I'm going to use that orange color as the card front. So I'm going to cut a piece of card front down from that orange color, and then I'm going to glue that postage stamp on top of that, and then the flower on top of that. So it'll kind of stand out and all tie and coordinate with each other. I repeated the process for the other flower and decided that I liked that tropical sea color, and put the black behind that. I thought it really kind of made it pop. All right, so the next thing we need to do is to to ink up our sentiment. And we're going to be using the Hello sentiment from the Hello Daisies stamp set. Again, I'm going to use my Misty just so I make sure that I get a nice crisp, clean image. And I'm going to reuse, or I'm going to use some scrap of that orange to die cut. Use the black ink from Catherine Puller again, and then I'm going to die cut the word out using the coordinating die. Here I'm just sort of kind of picturing where I want to put that sentiment. I usually, you know, work with the rule of thirds, and so I like putting sentiments on that bottom third of the card. So what I'm using right now is the Barely Art glue, and I will tell you that I just started using it and I absolutely love it. So much so that I decided to stock it in my online craft store. I just received my package, so I haven't quite had time to upload them to my Shopify store, but they will be there soon, so keep an eye out for that. Also wanted to mention that Barely Art is one of our sponsors for our Card Maker Success Summit, and we are donating part of our proceeds to Barely Art's nonprofit, which is called Cards for Cubs. So just make sure that you sign up for the Card Maker Success Summit, and you can find out more information about Barely Art's Card for Cubs. I'll also post a link down below. So the next thing I want to do is give the bouquet of flowers a little bit of dimension. And so I'm just popping it up with some double-sided foam adhesive tape here. I don't even know the brand of this. I think it may be Scotch brand. It was just something that I pulled out of my drawer that I feel like I need to use up. Typically what I do use is scrapbook.com's, but for some reason I couldn't find it today. So I'm just using up what I have. Always use up your stash. So I'm just going to put the bouquet of flowers right there in the center. I'm just going to leave a little bit of room on that bottom right hand corner for my sentiment. And now I'm kind of figuring out where I want that. So I've decided that I'm going to have it hanging off the flower a little bit, which means I'm going to have to add some dimension to part of that sentiment. So the part that is actually going to be touching the flower, I'm going to use that Barely Art and just put a few little dots onto the die-cutted sentiment, and then place it where I want it on the card front. So if you've been following me any given time, you know that I love to bling up my cards. And for this card, I decided to use the Rainbow Pearls from Pink and Main. Pink and Main is also one of our sponsors of the Card Maker Success Summit. So I just put the pearls inside the little catch tray there that I've got from Trinity Stamps, and I'm using one of their tool pickers, or jewel pickers I should say. I'm going to place the pearls in the different areas where I want them, usually clumping them in a group of 3 or an odd number. It just lends more to the composition of it than just having just random numbers of embellishments on your card. Anyway, so I'm just going to place those where I want them, and then when I'm satisfied, that's when I'm going to get out that Barely Art glue and that fine tip applicator and put a little tiny piece of glue down and put the little gem right on top of it. Alright, let's take a close-up look here. Look at the stitching there in that cover plate die. It just adds more interest to the card, and I think it's just so stinking cute. Alright, let's take a closer look of the other card that I created. I embellished this one as well, and those are black glass rhinestones from Pretty Pink Posh, who is also a sponsor of the Card Maker Success Summit. Here we have both the cards side by side, and I wonder, which one do you like best? I think I like the one with the orange background. It kind of gives you that fall feeling, but I also like the blue one or the teal one as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I have enjoyed creating it for you. If you can, please do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button and also that bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Don't forget, if you really enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and share this video with a crafty friend. Also, don't forget to sign up for the free ticket for the Card Makers Success Summit, which is a 4-day event starting February 17th going on through February 20th. Now, each day we have different videos that will be airing, and you get 24 hours to view all of those crafty goodness videos. If you want to get immediate and ongoing access to all of those presentations that are happening in the Card Maker Success Summit from February 17th through the 20th, you can upgrade your ticket to the VIP All Access Pass. This is going to give you immediate and ongoing access to all of those presentations, plus a whole lot more. We've got a workbook, a summit workbook that includes a card project making calculator, as well as some really great bonuses from our sponsors as well as our speakers. It's definitely a value for sure. You can upgrade that to the VIP All Access Pass. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.